Ladies and gentlemen, here's our lineups for game number 2. Because of today's makeup doubleheader, Rutgers-Newark will be the home team batting in our second game. NJCU will lead off the top of the first. For the Gothic Knights in game 2, Zach Buckholz will lead off and play third base. Jeff Reinecke bats second and plays second base. Nick Racino in left field bats third. Joe Catino, the right fielder, he's the cleanup hitter. Dan Berardi, the first baseman, bats fifth. Mike Ramirez will play center field and bat sixth. Lennon Gomez is the designated hitter, batting seventh. CJ Pulsini will catch and bat eighth. Nick Legato bats ninth and plays shortstop. And the pitcher for the Gothic Knights in game 2 will be junior left-hander, number 2, Tyler Folger. The lineup for Rutgers-Newark in game 2, leading off and playing shortstop, number 2, Ryan Zucker. Batting second and catching, number 13, Justin Marks. Batting third and playing left field, number 15, Josh Kotai. The cleanup hitter and first baseman, number 22, Ross Halkias. Batting fifth and playing center field, number 8, Anthony Perconti. Batting sixth and playing right field, number 25, Adam Carico. Third baseman batting seventh, number 16, Brian Bulino. Batting eighth, designated hitter number 39, Colin Powers. Batting ninth at second base, number 4, J.C. Ball. And the pitcher for Rutgers-Newark in our second game is freshman right-hander number 18, Vincent Conti. So that's our lineup for NJCU in our second game. Umpires will be Joe Wadika behind the plate in our second game. And we'll see Bob Arabak in the field. So Zach Buckholz will lead us off here in our second game, needing 2 hits to reach the 100-hit club. That's in the air, foul off to our right. And on the 0-2 pitch, Buckholz hit on the shoulder. He takes first base. Is hit by a pitch as the Gothic Knights, the road team in our second game, had the leadoff man on. Second baseman, number 5, Jeff Reinecke. Why is the water yellow here, Carla? No idea. I've had it open every time that I get here for like 2 hours and it's still yellow. Like, yeah, just running. And that's a pitch out there. As Reinecke moves into the second spot, the noticeable change in the lineup today, Bill Feehan in game 2 for the first time this year does not start. Two-ball count here to Jeff Reinecke. We'll give you the season scouting report here on Conti in a second. As the Gothic Knights with a man on first, trying to jump on top early here in game number 1. That's high, ball 3. Conti is a 6-foot, 180-pound freshman right-hander out of Scotch Plains, New Jersey, in Union County and Scotch Plains Fanwood High School. Before he throws the 3-0 pitch, the catcher Marks will have a conversation with the young right-hander. Defensively for Newark in game 2, it'll be Conti throwing to Marks. Halkias at first, J.C. Ball at second, Zucker at short, and Bolino, the third baseman, same infield as game 1, and the same outfield for the most part, just a change from center to right. And that is ball 4. So Reinecke walks on 4 pitches, and the Gothic Knights with the first 2 men on. It'll bring up Nick Rossino, who will play left field in this game. He's in the 3 spot. The outfield for the Raiders, Josh Cote is in left. Anthony Percante is in center. And Adam Carrico, your right fielder. The change defensively was for NJCU, by the way, not Rutgers-Newark. It was Nick Rossino, who was the outfielder that moved from center to left in this game, as Mike Ramirez, who pitched yesterday. Very first player for the Gothic Knights. Had a lot of flexibility. He could play first, he could DH, he could play in the outfield, and he was starting in center today, is Mike Ramirez. The 0-1 pitch here, Rossino ground ball to second base, not hit hard enough to be 2, so they'll go for the force at second base. And on the 0-1 pitch, Rossino, fielder's choice, Reineke retired, 4-6. That advances Buckholtz to third. So runners on the corners. Joe Catino now hitting .460 on the year. His brother Delio, who was one of the finest left-handers in school history and among the all-time strikeout leaders. He's here today. And saw his brother have 2 RBIs in game 1, but the Gothic Knights only were able to plate 3 runs, and they fell 11-3. First pitch to Catino is ball 1. Good pitch there. Drops in strike 2, or strike 1, 1-1 with 1 out here in the first inning. Again, the Gothic Knights, first time in a long time, are the road team at home. Necessitated by a home-and-home series on Thursday and Friday. Both games rained out. That's popped straight up. Now drifting off to our right and out of play. It's going to land by the restroom behind home plate. And it's 1-2. And the Gothic Knights were supposed to be at Bears and Eagles Riverfront Stadium in Newark on Thursday, but it poured. They were supposed to be home on Friday. Kept raining, and then obviously the field did not dry out in time. That's fouled off down the third base side. All of our broadcasts, of course, are on Wi-Fi here. Hopefully everybody's enjoying today's doubleheader here on Gothic Vision as NJCU and Rutgers-Newark play 2. Swung on and missed as Catino goes down, swinging at a high fastball. 2 away, and it'll be up to Dan Berardi to try to break NJCU through here in the first. It'll be Dan Berardi hitting .256 on the year. He had 4 RBIs yesterday in the doubleheader against William Patterson. He's in the number 5 spot in the lineup in this one. There goes Rossino, and he's still second base, feet first. And NJCU now on a 2-ball count have a pair of runners in scoring position. Rossino now 7 for 7 in steal attempts this year. Swung on and missed. 2-1. Conti on the year. This is his 3rd appearance. All starts. 1-0 with a 2.61 ERA. He's thrown 10.1 innings, struck out 6, only walked 1. But he's walked 1 and hit 1 here in the first. That's hit in the air. Left side of the infield. It'll be the third baseman making the catch as Brian Boulino calls off the rest of the infield. And despite the walk and the hit by pitch, no damage done as the Gothic Knights do not score here in the first. In the first inning for NJCU, no runs, no hits, 2 left on. Rutgers-Newark's coming up. It'll be the bottom of the first inning here as Rutgers-Newark bats as the home team here in Jersey City. It'll be Zucker, Marks, and Cote. And we'll see at home for the first time junior left-hander Tyler Folger. He's a transfer from Ocean County College. Out of Toms River, New Jersey. Toms River South. I think it was Ocean County. It's either Ocean County or Brookdale. I always mix the two of them up. Pitch fouled down the third base side. And it's 1-1 strike. Defensive alignment for the Gothic Knights in this one. We'll give you after this next pitch. The 1-1. Curve drops in. Gothic Knights going away from their leverage starter scheme here in Game 2. Folger starting the game. That's high. Folger throws to C.J. Polsini. Dan Berardi's at first. Jeff Reinecke at second. Nick Legato gets the start at short with Zach Buchholz now at third. Nick Racino slides from center to left. Mike Ramirez starts in center. And Joe Catino in right. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Folger deals, and that's foul back towards me. Taking a look at Folger's numbers on the year. This is his 5th appearance, his 2nd start. He's 0 for 2, 0-2 with a 9.00 ERA. That's ball 4, so Zucker walks.
Number 13, Justin Marks.
Bring up the catcher, Marks, who had a homer and a double in the first game. Drops down a bunt foul. Rutgers-Newark scored in every inning except the 2nd and the 6th, but no more than 2 runs in any such inning in Game 1. And Folger hits Marks. It gets hit on the right forearm. And the Gothic Knights continue striking batters. Walks, hit batters. NJCU has not done itself any favors today. Rutgers-Newark has had a couple big hits, but most of the damage has been self-inflicted. So, runners at first and second, nobody out, brings up the left fielder Cote. And that's low. Pitch drops in, 1-1. Chopped foul, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Give you scores from around the NJAC as they become available. There are a few other makeup games today. And that's lined towards right center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Zucker around third. He'll score right in his coattails as Marks. He scores the throw to third, not in time. It's a 2-run triple for Cote. Rutgers-Newark up 2-0. So Rutgers-Newark again strikes first with 2 runs here in the first inning, same as in game 1. And Halkias, with still nobody out, has a chance to break it open even further. And the first pitch is called strike. Swung and I missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Slow roller. Staying at third will be Cote. It's going to be an infield hit as Folger had to eat that one. So the runners on the corners now will be Percante.
Now batting number 8.
The center fielder hitting .394. He has a chance with runners on the corners now to extend this opening inning outburst. And that is ball 1. Strike 1, 1-1. Inside, Pulsini will block that in front of the plate. It's a wild pitch. Halkias will go to second. That's on the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That is inside, so it's 3-2. Still nobody out here in the first. Ground ball, back to Folger. Looks back at the runner for a split second, then throws on to first for out number 1. So a 1-3 ground out. 1 away. They'll leave it up to the right fielder, Tricarico.
Now batting number 25, Adam Tricarico.
His average now at 291 on the season. Curve on the inside corner as strike 1. Ground ball back to Folger again. Looks to third. Back to back. Ground balls to the mound. And now NJCU with 2 outs has a chance to escape here. To go investigate. That's why the picture went dead, is because the power came out. Always something simple. Well, Bulino's got something simple. Let's just put the ball in to the outfield and he'll score 2 here. Rutgers-Newark already leads 2-0. It's a 2-0 pitch. That's called strike. Bulino, the third baseman, now hitting .321 for the Raiders. Gothic Knights threatened but couldn't put anything across in their first inning. The Rutgers-Newark, for the second game in a row, has put up 2 in the first. And they'd like to add some more. It's a 3-1 pitch here from Folger. That's a called strike by Joe Wadika. And it's now 3-2. He's been umpiring games since I was in college, probably before that. The 3-2, that's ball 4. So the bases are loaded as the second walk of the inning, along with 1 hit batter. Both players who reach base on free passes, a walk and hit by pitch. Yep, you guessed it, they scored. And Powers, the DH, who had a big 2-run single to help give Rutgers-Newark what proved to be the winning runs early in game 1. Steps to the plate, first pitch, ball 1 with nowhere to put him. 33 pitches already Folger's thrown here in the first. Curve drops in. It's 1-1. Folger came into play with just a .214 opposing batting average on the year, but he's been wild. In 8 innings, he's walked 9. He's only struck out 1. And he's now behind 2-1. And when you walk that many batters, bring yourself in a precarious situation. The 2-1. Outside corner, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bulino at first, Halkias at second. Cote hit a big 2-run triple. He stands at third. And that's lined through the right side for a base hit. Cote scores. Halkias right behind him. They're going to have a run down at second base. And Legato's going to apply the tag after the throw in from Coutinho. But two more score. Correction there, Halkias did stay at third, so Cote is the only one who scores. So it's an RBI single through the right side by Powers. And Boulino is retired 9-3-6. Halkias at third. Cote scores, and the inning comes to a close. First inning for Rutgers-Newark, 3 runs, 3 hits. They leave 2. They lead 3-0. Gothic Knights with work to do. Mike Ramirez, Lennon Gomez, CJ Pulsini. 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up. Ramirez hitting 351 on the season. Pitching and also contributing at the plate and in the field this year. That's another fastball. Conte ahead 0-2 against a fellow pitcher. Ground ball to second base. And an easy play there at second. So JC Ball throws out Ramirez. 1 away, and he'll bring up Lennon Gomez. His average now dipping to 327. First pitch to Gomez was a ball, the 1-0, and that's lined down the third base line and all the way into the corner. Gomez doesn't run as well as some of the other players on the team, but he had no problem rumbling down to second base for a 1-out double. For Lennon Gomez, that's his 5th double of the year. That's second on the team behind Joe Coutinho.
Now batting the catcher, number 9, CJ Pulsini.
CJ Pulsini, his average is dipped to 298 on the year. Important at bat here to see if the Gothic Knights get a run on the board, down by 3. First pitch popped in the air. Left side of the infield, Zucker makes the catch. Then the Gothic Knights going after the first pitch. And now 2 away for Nick Legato, who had a pinch hit RBI double in the bottom of the 9th inning. He gets the starting game 2. Taylor Bourne out of the lineup. Zach Buckholz sliding over to third. Legato hitting an even 300 on the year. Gatto did not hit a home run last year, but right now he's got 2 of the 3 NJCUs hit this year. And that's hit in the air to deep left field. How far Is that gonna go? Nick Legato does it again. His third home run of the year. And suddenly Nick Legato is the power man for the Gothic Knights. They're back in this one. It's 3-2. No chance there for Cote. He just turned and watched it go. So it's now 3-2 as Nick Legato has hit his third home run of the year. He gets the start and he produces. So that'll bring the Knights will have 2 on the road tomorrow against Staten Island. The Knights of Buckholz can get the milestone at home. And Buckholz goes down on strikes. And the Gothic Knights will settle for 2 here in the second. 2 runs on 2 hits. The third home run this year for Nick Legato. And it's 3-2 after 1.5. Ball hits in the air. Deep center field, Ramirez on the run. Gets twisted around, but he makes the catch. So ball on a 1-1 pitch. The first batter here in the second, the number 9 hitter in the lineup as Rutgers-Newark has 9, 1, and 2 due up here in the second.
Number 2, Ryan Zucker.
The shortstop, Ryan Zucker. He steps in. He's walked and scored today, hitting 400 in our adjusted stats through game 1 of today's doubleheader. And he's ahead 2-0 here against Folger. The wind is now picking up a little bit. It's carrying from right to left. And that's a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Rutgers-Newark 3 runs on 3 hits. The Gothic Knights 2 runs on 2 hits. It's inside 3-1. Correction, the umpire says it's 2-2. That's high. Now it's 3-2. Originally, we thought it was a 3-1 count. Then Joe Wadika, the home plate umpire, changed it. I don't think he has his clicker, so he's going to go over to have a conversation with Bob Auerbach and check to see what the pitch count or the ball strike situation is supposed to be here. So it is 3 balls and 2 strikes. There is no walk there. After they have a quick conversation, doesn't matter anyways. That's line to center field for a base hit. That's better in the stats anyway. If you're Zucker, helps the batting average more than a walk does, and gives the same result as Rutgers-Newark has a 1-out base runner. So that'll bring up the catcher Marks.
Justin Marks.
Marks, the catcher, was hit by a pitch and later scored the second of 3 runs. Marks, the left-handed hitter, had a home run and a double in Game 1. There have been 2 home runs in today's doubleheader, 1 for each team. And that's low. Blocked by Pulsini. Zucker stays at first. Marks, a junior out of South Plainfield. That's also low. Marks, a high school teammate of Taylor Bourne for the Knights. Also a high school teammate of Sean Earhart. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Swung on and fouled off the backstop on our right side here. Count full at 3-2. It was also full against Zucker. He ended up with a base hit. Slow roller. Gonna be a tough play. Berardi flips to Folger. Can't make the handle there. Can't make the pass off. As a base hit by Marks, he's able to beat the throw to Folger. Even if it was a perfect throw, pretty sure Marks beats that out if Folger had gotten there first. I think Marks beats him out regardless. So either way, now 2 base hits here on back-to-back 3-2 pitches for Rutgers-Newark. 1 out, they have runners at first and second. I think Folger got a late start off the mound. As Berardi with the backhand to keep that in the infield. And this is a foot raise and Marks won it. Swung on and missed. 1-1 here to Cote, who's got the biggest hit in the game for Rutgers-Newark thus far. That's a 2-run triple in the first, biggest hit of the game. Both teams, Nick Legato's second 2-run homer of the year, is 3rd overall. Inside. So it's 2-1. Quick conversation here between CJ Pulsini and Tyler Folger. Folger, 6'2", 225 pounds. Out of Toms River, New Jersey, Toms River South High School. He is a finance major. Folger steps off. It's the final day of Division III week here at NJCU and throughout Division III, April 3rd to April 9th, as we celebrate everything that's great about Division III collegiate athletics. That pitch is outside. Over the course of the week, we've featured about 20 different NJCU student athletes who've given their real accounts of how being a Division III student athlete has impacted their lives. We've had a daily series of testimonials. Swung on and missed. And it's 3-2, where we've featured different athletes and, again, how Division III athletics has changed their lives. We'll conclude the series later today with Hannah Gavin from the softball team, James Julius from the men's basketball team, and Alyssa McGee, who's sitting to my left, from the women's volleyball team, featured in today's edition. That's hit in the air. Center field retreating is Ramirez on the run. It's going to be over his head, and Karam's to the wall. Zucker will score. Marks waved around him. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's wide, and it's going to be a 2-run double for Cote. He's got 4 RBIs, and Rutgers-Newark gets the 2 runs back. They lead 5-2. And I'll bring up Halkias.
Now batting the first baseman, number 22, Ross Halkias.
And that's on the ground. Buckholz, his throw to first is in time. So a 5-3 ground out. Cote stands at second. It'll bring up Percante.
The center fielder, number 8, Anthony Perconti.
So 5-2, Rutgers-Newark leads. 5 runs, 6 hits for the Raiders. 2 runs, 2 hits for the Knights here in the bottom of the second inning. And you heard that right, even though we're in Jersey City. At home, Rutgers-Newark is the home team on the scoreboard in our second game, as these were originally scheduled as a split home road regular, or weekday series, I should say. So while NJC will host both games today, Rutgers-Newark does get the benefit of being the home team batting-wise in one of the games. Percante is ahead 3-0 here. Now 3-1. The Raiders with 3 in the first, 2 in the second. The 3 runs in the first was the first time today that they scored more than 2 in any inning. Rutgers-Newark scored in 7 of the 9 innings in our first game, but never more than 2 runs. And that's high. That's ball 4. As the third walk plus 1 hit batter allowed by Folger here. He's already thrown 65 pitches,
Number 25,
and we haven't gone through 2 innings. So Tricarico, the right fielder, he grounded out 1-3 in the first inning. He steps in, batting .286. Oh, and 2. That pitch is low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's outside. 2-2. Two-two pitch. And for the fourth time in this inning, it's 3-2. Strike three looking as Tricarico, a little surprised, but he goes down on strikes. And the inning finally comes to a close, but not before Rutgers-Newark regains the 2 runs that they lost on the home run by Legato. 3 hits, 2 left on. It's 5-2 after 2. Gotham Knights try to counter here in the top of the third. It'll be Reineke, Rossino, and Catino. Reineke walked in the first before being left. Actually retired on a fielder's choice, I should say, and that's popped in the air. Left field, and it's an easy place catch there by Josh Cote, standing in place and left. So one way to bring up Nick Rossino. He reached on a fielder's choice. NJCU and Ramapo game 2 after the Roadrunners won the first game. Second game is in the third. It is scoreless. So far, 3 hits for the Roadrunners, 1 for the Knights. That's ball 2. Way inside. A 3-0 pitch is a called strike. Rossino swings through that one. And it's 3-2 with 1 person out. And that is ball 4. So Rossino draws the 1-out walk. It'll leave it up for Joe Catino, who struck out swinging in the first. 1 away here in the third. It's 5-2 Rutgers-Newark. And as a called strike to Joe Catino. 1 ball and 1 strike here. Taking a look at the updated NJAC standings. Well, first, here's a pitch to Coutinho, hit in the air to deep left field. And how far is that going to go? Off of the yellow at the top of the fence. Karam's over, and Joe Coutinho goes yard. The second home run of the game to left field for the Gothic Knights, and another 2-run home run closes the gap. It's 5-4. Joe Coutinho continues to carry the team in the last week and a half offensively. And that will bring up Dan Berardi. Nice pitch there. Curve is a called strike, 0-2. Two-run homer by Legato, 2 home run by Coutinho, ground ball, and the 0-2 pitch to shortstop, the throw by Zucker. That's out number 2.
Now batting the center fielder, number 21, Mike Ramirez.
Now bring up Mike Ramirez. Ramirez grounded out to second base. And it's a 1-0 count to Ramirez. Fastball is a called strike, 1-1. By the way, that is the second career home run by Joe Coutinho, but just the first since he was a freshman. That's in the dirt. 3-1. Swung on, missed, 3-2. Ground ball over to ball at second base. Ramirez hustling down the line, but the throw is in time. Inning comes to a close. But the Gothic Knights get another 2 runs back on the second career home run by Joe Coutinho, his first since 2014. 1 hit and nobody left. It's 5-4 after 2.5. It'll be Bulino, Powers, and Ball. As Rutgers-Newark bats here in the third. Bulino walked and was later stranded at third in the first inning. 5-4 Rutgers-Newark on top here in the bottom of the third. The Raiders, the home team, that's hitting the air to left field. Retreating is Racino on the run, and it's over the fence, as is Racino, for a home run. Bulino, a little confusion there. Joe Wadika says it clears the fence, and it did. Very short fence all the way around the outfield here in Jersey City. And the Gothic Knights, after 2 home runs to left field, now Rutgers-Newark gets in the game. Bulino goes yard, a solo shot, it's 6-4. And he does so off of new pitcher Anthony Zaccaro, who starts this inning, sophomore left-hander, 6 foot, out of Linden, New Jersey. Zaccaro, 2.70 ERA coming into play today. His 4th appearance. He's thrown 3 1/3 innings coming in, giving up 1 earned run with a strikeout on a walk. Fence is only about 4 feet high, so it's very easy to go over it, and Racino did, trying to track that one down. A ball and a strike here at Powers. It's high. Third straight inning, Rutgers-Newark has scored, and they have now put up a run in 10 of 12 innings today. Gothic Knights have 16 pitchers on the roster. It's called strike. They're all going to have to contribute in some capacity, as NJCU is playing 12 games in 8 days. Ground ball to Buckholz. He'll make the throw over to Berardi. That's out number 1. J.C. Ball, the second baseman, steps in, looking for his first hit today. He flew out to center in the second. Ground ball to short. Legato's there. Takes his time, and he throws it high. And the first error of the game for the Gothic Knights allows Ball to reach. An E6 throwing error. And I'll bring up Zucker, a shortstop, hitting .407. Been on base twice, scored twice, a walk and a single. That's low. So it's 2-0 here to Zucker. That's off the handle of the bat there. 2-1. That's lined to left center. That's going to be a base hit. Ramirez will come over and cut it off. Ball goes to third. Runners on the corners with 1 out. So with runners on the corners and one out, Zakara will deal with
Catcher, number
Marks,
13, Justin Marks.
who, like Zucker, been on base twice, a hit by pitch, a single, and 2 runs scored. Zucker's now been on base 3 times, 2 singles, and a walk. Behind him is Cote, who's had himself a day. 4 RBIs, a triple, and a double. It's a home run and a single for the cycle. Triple's probably the hardest part of all of that.
Have you really?
And the throw is wide of third. A throwing error again as the Gothic Knight pitchers continue to have trouble checking runners this year. Zakaro's throwing error allows Ball to score. Zucker, he goes to second. More self-inflicted wounds. And that's hit in the air deep right center field. Ramirez on the run, makes the catch. His shadow against the wall. Zucker goes to third.
Alright, so that goes out. 2 outs.
So Zucker tags up Cote now with 2 away.
Fielder, number 15,
He'll step in.
Cote.
2 for 2, a triple, a double, and 4 RBIs. But Rutgers-Newark has regained, with 2 runs here in the third, a 7-4 lead. That's hit in the air to right center. On the run is Coutinho. On the run, reaches up. As he falls to the turf, he makes the catch.
First pitch.
Cote hit that one well, but this time Coutinho's able to track it down, and the inning does come to a close. For the Raiders, 2 runs on 2 hits, 2 errors, 1 left. Rutgers-Newark through 3, leading 7-4. No runs, no hits, and nobody left as the Gothic Knights go in the fourth. With Gomez grounding out to third, Pulsini striking out swinging, and now Legato grounding out 5-3. Bottom of the fourth inning, new pitcher for the Gothic Knights will be sophomore right-hander Corey Nace, the third of four Toms River, New Jersey natives to throw today, and his first pitch here in the fourth, trailing 7-4 is a called strike, going against Halkias, the first baseman, who is 1 for 2 with a single. Drops that in for a strike as well. Nace making his 7th appearance all in relief in 7 1/3 innings. He struck out 2, walked 2. But he got a 6.14 ERA against this year. But he strikes out Halkias on 3 pitches. So he rings up Halkias, and I'll bring up the center fielder Perconti, who's walked. He's 0 for 1.
Now batting the center fielder, number 8, Anthony Perconti. How many times?
I'm on 4 right now.
Another strike to Perconti. That's 4 strikes in a row. Thrown by Corey Nace. And that's lined, though, to left field. It's going to fall in front of Nick Rossino. So that's the 9th hit by the Scarlet Raiders. It'll bring up the right fielder,
The right fielder, number 25.
Chicarico. And he's 0 for 2 with a strikeout looking in the second inning. Now there goes the runner Perconte, but it won't matter as Chicarico is hit by the pitch. And now they'll bring up Boulino at a solo home run to lead off the third. Rutgers-Newark up 7-4 is a chance to break this game open. That's a called strike. In the air, left field. Racino in the gap makes the catch. And that is out number 2. So with runners on first and second, now 2 away, it'll bring up the designated hitter Powers. In an RBI single in the first, he's 1 for 2 today, grounded out to third in the third. Powers, freshman from Secaucus, 6 foot 195. And that's a called strike. Nace steals, ground ball to Legato, flips to second for the force, and the inning comes to a close. So Nace, a little bit of trouble, but he does his job. As for the first time in this game, Rutgers-Newark does not score. In the fourth, no runs, 1 hit, 2 left on base. We head to the fifth. It's 7-4. Fifth inning, and Zach Buchholz steps in for the Gothic Knights. Top of the order, Buchholz, Reineke, Racino here in the fifth. Buchholz was hit by pitch, and he also struck out looking, 0 for 1. Still needing 2 hits for 100. After a first pitch ball, fouls that one away, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Ground ball to third. Bulano on 3 hops throws to first, out number 1. Gonna bring up Jeff Reineke. Walked, flew out the left. 0 for 1 in this one. He's hitting .333.
Now batting the second baseman, number 5, Jeff Reineke.
To left field. Catch is made by Cote. That's out number 2. They'll bring up Nick Racino, who walked and scored on the home run by Catino in the third.
Fielder number 8, Nick Racino.
That's fouled down the right field line. Now it's being blown back towards first base. Fielded well by Halkias, who makes the catch in foul territory. And the Gothic Knights, Racino fouls out. Go in order here in the fifth. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Bottom of the fifth coming up. It's 7-4. Ball, who was the beneficiary of an error in the last time up in the third. First pitch here, he gets on base by his own effort here. His first hit of the day, a single to center.
The shortstop, number 2, Ryan Zucker.
Back to the top of the order will be Zucker, who's been on base 3 times, 2 for 2 with a walk and 2 runs scored. His average now at .415. Corey Nace out there for a second inning of work. Nace, 5'11", 195, out of Toms River, New Jersey. Toms River South High School, marketing major. Ball on 1 strike. Throw over to first, and Ball is able to get back in safely. Swing and a miss, and it's going to be interference, I believe, here on the catcher.
Alright, that was originally a ball, though.
And it's going to be interference as...
So what?
Are they sending him back to first, or are they saying he's out? I'm trying to see. He is out as it's
Wait, 1,
batter interference.
so 1, 2, 2 strikes? Or maybe is that 12, 1, set, strike 2. He's out.
And Zucker is called for batter interference here, and Ball is out.
I think if I had to guess, I'd say
So Zucker called out for interference.
no. Zucker's not called out.
I'm saying Ball's out for interference on Zucker, I should say.
Yes. He just pitched.
And Zucker
What does he expect me to? Whatever.
goes down looking on strikes. That's strike 3. Strikeout by Nace. And it'll bring up Marks, the catcher.
The catcher, number 13, Justin Marks.
Marks, 2 runs scored, a single and a hit by pitch. And Nace is throwing with a pretty good pace right here. So Nace throwing with pace.
You're so funny. Ow, stop, I have a bruise there. Stop, I ran into a kid at the nightcap. That really hurts.
What happened to you, Alyssa McGee?
So during the finale, during the,
Alyssa McGee, I believe, was injured during the nightcap event on Thursday, which is an annual Olympic-style event that NJCU does during Division III week.
during the rally, the relay rather, I was running up the stairs, around the track, down the stairs, and then I had to run across the gym to hit someone to play soccer, right?
That's off the plate 2-1 as we learn about Alyssa McGee's injury.
As I ran through the door, this like non-athletic kid bends over. Sorry, don't tell the broadcast that. Bends over. To
We can hear everything you're saying.
Oh, he bends over to breathe. Like I guess like because he just ran the track. So like I'm running through the door and he bends over in front of the door. He bends over in front of the door. So obviously 2 of us can't be in the door at once. So I ran over him, and his head hit my arm, and he broke his glasses and cut his eye.
Oh, that sounds like a very tragic situation. That is hit towards center field. That's a base hit for Marks. That's going to be deposited for the 11th hit for Rutgers-Newark.
Look.
Nice bruise, Alyssa McGee. Many pretty colors you got there. That's a single to center. Luckily, you have an athletic trainer sitting to your left.
Josh Cote. Yeah.
Carla Mejia, can you do anything to help this person? So Alyssa McGee blaming somebody else for tripping over them. To me, I mean, it's like driving your car down the street. If there's a garbage can in the middle of the street, that throw is back to first and diving safely is Marks. If it's a windy day and a garbage can blows in the middle of the street and you hit the garbage can, is it the garbage can's fault? No. Don't hit the garbage can.
It was his own fault. Like he got himself hurt for pushing himself into the doorway when someone was running.
And this is why we can't have self-driving cars. So 2 balls and no strikes.
Right, like this kid
Alyssa McGee,
is the worst.
our scoreboard operator,
I almost killed Gibbs because he was in front of me and he slammed the door.
is currently injured and explaining to everybody who will listen. That's a wild pitch. Marks will trot down to second as it rolls all the way towards the Gothic Knight dugout on the third base side.
Wasn't very nice. It set me back.
So what you're telling us, Alyssa, is that during the nightcap event on Thursday, which I believe was won by the softball team,
Yeah, but women's volleyball, men and women's volleyball got third.
oh, you guys finished
And
top
we
3.
had number 3 on our
Bronze
back.
is nice.
We put 3 on our back for volley.
Bronze is nice. You don't get your national anthem played, but that's okay. That's ball 4, so an intentional walk here to Cote as they throw ball 4 outside and get the force at second. And we're going to have a visit from the pitching coach, Nick Cesare. It'll be Halkias coming up.
Should I even try to throw or should I just shut it down?
Baseman number 22, Ross Halkias. Yesterday open house.
So Halkias, the first baseman, will step in. Now he's 1 for 3 today, hitting .319. A single in the first. He's also grounded at the third and struck out swinging. First pitch here is fouled into the backstop as C.J. Pulsini will exchange baseballs with Joe Wadika, the veteran umpire behind the plate here in Game 2. No balls, 1 strike. Nace back to first, checking the runner, and just beating and throws Cote. In the air, center field, Ramirez on the run, stops, makes the catch, and the inning comes to a close. So over the second inning in a row, Corey Nace does his job. He's been the best pitcher today for the Gothic Knights in these 2 games. Giving up 2 hits, but both get stranded on base. We head to the 6th. It's 7-4 Raiders. We are back here for the 6th inning. A change defensively as number 5 Connor Clare will come in and play first base for the Raiders. They lead 7-4. Joe Coutinho, he's got a 2-run home run today. He's at the plate. So 2-1 to Coutinho. It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Coutinho, Berardi, Ramirez. As the Gothic Knights trail by 3. Low 3-1. So Halkis' day comes to a close. And that's off the plate as Coutinho lays off and draws the leadoff walk here in the 6th. Now bring up Dan Berardi. He's average at 244, looking for his first hit in this game. Berardi, a pop out to third and a ground out to short. Be a quick mound visit here with Conti. Berardi's capable of hitting one over the fence very easily with his power. He has only got a home run this year, but he's been hitting the ball a lot better lately. The Gothic Knights have 2 home runs in this contest. 2-run shots by Legato and Coutinho. Coutinho now the runner at first. Boulino has a home run, a solo shot for the Raiders. First pitch, that's popped foul. On the run is Boulino, but it's into the NJCU dugout. They're in the bottom of the 6th inning in Ramapo and Mawa, where Ramapo leads NJCU 6-0 in Game 2 of that softball doubleheader. It was 2-0, but the Roadrunners put up 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th. The Gothic Knights have been limited to 2 hits.
Let's go, Daniel.
Coutinho fakes the run, and Berardi swings through that one. It's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. And that's lined right back up the middle for a base hit. Coutinho goes to second. Whizzes right by Conti, the pitcher. As Berardi gets his first hit of this game.
The center fielder, number 21, Mike Ramirez.
And I'll bring up Mike Ramirez, the center fielder. A couple groundouts to second base. His average dips to 318. But this is a big spot now for the Gothic Knights. They trail by 3, 7-4. Ramirez comes up. The left-handed hitter represents the tying run. The flag is now limp on the pole in right center. Very, very light breeze now. Drops down a bunt. Perfectly placed. They won't get him. First base is undefended as the first baseman, Claire, had to come in to try to field that one. And a perfectly placed bunt by Mike Ramirez. The bases are full of Gothic Knights. And as he sprints down the line, claps his hands in celebration as the Gothic Knights have something kicking here. A little life in the 6th.
Now batting the DH, number 24, Lennon Gomez.
So Ramirez at first, Berardi at second, Coutinho is at third, and Lennon Gomez will step to the plate, the designated hitter, hitting .333. He's already got a double today. He's 1 for 2. Lennon Gomez entering play today, 11 RBIs. And 18 hits, but he's now over 20 hits on his rookie campaign. And this is the inning the Gothic Knights have been waiting for. And Gomez swings and misses.
We're in the sixth. Oh wait, who's batting? Oh yeah, we're in the sixth. Top six.
The 0-1 pitch to Gomez will be coming up, with NJCU down 7-4. And that's grounded foul.
Oh, never mind. Just kidding. Ignore that.
No balls and 2 strikes. 7 runs and 11 hits for the Raiders. 4 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for the Gothic Knights. Gomez, the NJAC Rookie Player of the Week last week. The right-handed hitter from Edison. That's hit in the air. Deep center field. On the run, and he can't get there, and he falls against the wall. This will clear the bases. Coutinho scores. Berardi scores. Here comes Mike Ramirez. It's a 3-run double for Lennon Gomez, and the Gothic Knights draw even. It's 7-7. A long fly ball, his second double of the game, and Anthony Percante went as far as you can in this park. The fence in deep center field is now worse for wear. It is completely out of alignment as he fell against it trying to track that ball down. A 3-run bases clearing double for Lennon Gomez.
7-7, right?
And we are knotted at 7 apiece. And that'll be it for Conte. We'll have a new pitcher. We'll tell you about him when we come back. And we're back here. Vincent Anea, the senior right-hander from Sayreville, New Jersey, transferred from Middlesex County College, will now come in and try to put out the fire. Lennon Gomez stands at second base with nobody out. He just tied the game with a long 3-run double. And C.J. Pulsini, who's 0 for 2 with a pop out to short and a strikeout, now at the plate. First pitch to Pulsini is a called strike. Nea 6'2", 190 pounds. in the dirt. Marks able to keep it in front of him. Gomez stays at second. 1 ball and 1 strike. Conti is responsible for Gomez, so he cannot win this game. He can only lose or get a no decision, depending what happens here in the 6th. Rutgers-Newark led 3-0. NJCU cut it to 3-2. The Raiders made it 5-2. NJCU, another 2-home run by Catino, cut it to 5-4. Newark went up 7-4. Now 3 runs here by Gomez. Pulsini fouls that away. And the Gothic Knights have drawn all the way back to even at 7 apiece. Pulsini fouls that one away as well. I mentioned earlier, Pulsini, a 4.00 ERA in 2 years at NJCU. Senior out of Hazlitt. What did I say? I keep saying ERA. I mean, I'd be fine with a 4.00 ERA. I mean, the way I throw balls and strikes. A 4.0 GPA. Ground ball to shortstop. Zucker throws in time. So Pulsini and his perfect GPA retired.
All his credits from his transfer school didn't count. So.
And I'll bring up Nick Legato, the shortstop. Had a 2-run home run, his 3rd of the year in the 2nd inning. He did not hit a home run at all as a freshman, but he suddenly got the itch for the long ball. He's also grounded out to 3rd base, so he's 1 for 2 in this game. That's in the dirt. Gomez will take off to 3rd. The throw by Marks is high. Looked like for a second there that Boulino was actually trying to dupe Gomez there at 3rd into thinking that the ball went over his head down the left field line. See if Gomez would take off to the plate. Time is called here as he has dirt in his eyes after sliding into 3rd. But now a sacrifice fly would give the Gothic Knights a lead for the first time all day. It's called strike. Ball and a strike here to Legato. It'll be followed by Zach Buckholtz here in the 6th. We are knotted at 7. Rutgers-Newark has 11 hits. NJCU has 6. 3 for extra bases. Inside. Home runs by Legato and Catino. And I lied. Actually, NJCU has 4 of their 6 hits are for extra bases because I forgot about Gomez's double in the 2nd. So he's got 2 doubles in this contest. And the backstop saves a run here as in and out of the glove of the catcher Marks and rolls to the backstop, which is only about maybe 10 to 12 feet behind home plate. 3 balls and a strike. One of these days I should probably measure it. I've been thinking about doing that for years. And that is ball 4. So Legato walks on 5 pitches. 1 away. Runners on the corners. It'll be the top of the order. Zach Buckholtz steps in.
Now batting the 3rd baseman, number 13, Zach Buckholtz. Can't do that.
So Zach Buckholtz hit by a pitch in the 1st. Since then, struck out looking, grounded to 3rd, 0 for 2 in this game, hitting an even 300 on the season. Again, sitting on 98 career hits. He shows bunt. drops down a bunt. It's going to be a play at the plate here, and Gomez is out. But then airmailed into center field, and everyone will advance on the throwing error. So the sacrifice by Buchholz results in an out at the plate, but Legato and Buchholz both advance on the throwing error by Marks. So if you're scoring at home, Buchholz is out on a fielder's, or I should say, Buchholz drops down what is a fielder's choice sacrifice bunt. Then he goes to second on a throwing error by the catcher Marks that allowed Legato to move all the way to third. Gomez retired at the plate, 1-2. So Reineke will step in. Jeff Reineke is the 8th hitter in the inning. 0 for 2 in this game. 2 flyouts to left field. He's also walked. That's high. 2-1. Still even at 7 runs apiece after the 3-run double by Gomez earlier this frame. That's high. And if he reaches, Nick Rossino, one of NJCU's most dangerous hitters, will step in. We are at the Thomas M. Garrity Athletic Complex in Jersey City, the first home games of the 2017 season. Yes, you heard that correctly. First home games on April 9th. Fastball on the outside corner, called by the umpire Joe Wadika. So it's 3-2. Instead of fastball on the outside corner. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Buchholz and Legato in scoring position. That's fouled away. Boulino, the third baseman, went over to watch that one for good measure, but that was well into the back. And Nia in relief, Vincent Conti. Senior replacing the freshman. Reineke, the second baseman, that time watches ball 4. And the bases are loaded. Reineke is at first. Buchholz at second. Legato, he slides over to third. Well, he was already there anyway. He gets to stay at third. But the bases are loaded. Nick Rossino steps in. And Rossino 0 for 2 in this game. A fielder's choice, a foul out. He's also walked and scored. Big spot here, hitting .393 on the season. That's fouled off his right ankle. The 0-1 is called strike. No balls and 1 strike. Bases loaded, 2 outs here. in the sixth. Swings and misses at that one. And the catcher Mark steps on the plate. And the inning comes to a close. So the force at the plate after the strikeout swinging. And the ball gets away from Marks, and the Gotham Knights lead the bases full, but not before 3 runs on 3 hits. The biggest blow, a bases clearing 3-run triple by Lennon Gomez. They leave 3. There was 1 error in the inning. We've played 5.5 in game 2 at 7-all. Well, Nick Racino was the guy you wanted up in that situation. The top hitter in the NJAC against right-handers was Nick Racino. Hitting .439 against righties coming into play today.
Leading off for Rutgers-Newark, the center fielder.
Goes at a .333 average with 2 outs. And was perfect this year with the bases loaded. His .550 average with RBI opportunities was the 3rd best in the league, but you're not going to get it done every time, and that time Racino was unable to come through with a hit. So we're tied at 7. We head to the bottom of the 6th, and now pitching will be Jose Ortiz, and the first pitch he throws is hit in the air to deep left center. Field's going to roll all the way to the wall, and stopping at second base on the first pitch he sees, Percante with a leadoff double. So, Rutgers-Newark answers. They get the leadoff runner on base.
The right fielder, number 25, Adam Chicarico.
And I'll bring up the right fielder, Tricarico. 0 for 2 in this one. He was hit by a pitch, however, in his last plate appearance. Ortiz, a red shirt because of an injury, sophomore. Largely been the closer for the Gothic Knights this year. He has not pitched much. For Ortiz, this is just his 4th appearance. Got a 15 ERA. 4 innings, allowed 7 runs and 10 hits. 3 strikeouts and a walk. He throws hard, but he's also been hit hard. A ball and a strike here to Tricarico. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning. That's high. Throw back to second. And it goes into the outfield. Percante advances on another error by a pitcher in this game. So Percante goes to third. Zaccaro also had a throwing error as a pitcher earlier in this game. It's been a problem that's been plaguing the pitching staff all year. The 2-1. Swung on and missed. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that's high. It's 3-2. And that's strike 3 looking. Tricarico was very visibly unhappy with that pitch and lets home plate umpire Joe Waddick know, but that was called strike 3. It'll bring up Bulino, the third baseman.
16, Brian Bulino.
He's homered today. He's got a solo shot in the third. He's also walked. 1 for 2 in this game. Curve is way outside. That's hit in the air, left field, right at Racino. It's going to be a sacrifice fly. Here comes Percante, and Rutgers-Newark reclaims an 8-7 lead.
The DH, number 39, Colin Powers.
Now, as of right now, Percante's run is unearned, as he went to third on the error. However, that could change, depending on what Powers does. Fouled back towards me. Unlike everybody else in the press box, I don't flinch.
Oh my God, it was one time.
I got the motive.
Swung on and missed,
Fuel?
and it's 0-2. Fouled back. Nobody flinches, but there is some blinking going on. That's right, you're allowed to blink. We're not robots here. I mean, Sean Gibney might be. He's a go-bot. Ground ball to short. Legato, this should end the inning, and it does. The run is unearned, but Rutgers-Newark will take it in any form as they regain an 8-7 lead. In the sixth, 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error, 1 unearned run. The Raiders lead 8-7. Seventh inning, it'll be Coutinho, Berardi, and Ramirez, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up. Joe Coutinho, who has the good fortune to get to dorm with Sean Givney. Sorry, they have an apartment. I apologize for insinuating that you guys would want to live on campus. Coutinho, Berardi, Ramirez, the heart of the lineup, as NJCU trails 8-7. Coutinho has been on base twice. Once he homered, so he really wasn't on base because it happened so fast. He has a 2-run homer in the third. He also walked in the sixth. He has scored twice. He's got 4 RBIs in today's doubleheader. Ball and a strike. As the pitcher, Nea, begins his second inning of work. Two balls, 1 strike. Ground ball. Coming over is Bulino, and his throw will be in time to retire Coutinho for out number 1. Dan Berardi, a favorite of many people in the press box, will step to the plate. He had a single and a run scored in the 6th. Melissa McGee can't chew gum and talk at the same time. Berardi hitting now .261. He slowly continues to raise his average after an early season slump. 1 ball, no strikes. Ground ball to third. Bulino, back-to-back action, and that is thrown away. So Berardi will reach on the throwing error by Bulino, and he goes back to first base before tag could be applied. So an error on the third baseman. Berardi is aboard with 1 out.
Now batting the center fielder, number 21, Mike Ramirez.
A good throw would have had Berardi by probably about 2 steps. So Ramirez, we'll see if, after NJCU committed an error that allowed Rutgers-Newark to regain the lead, if the Gothic Knights can capitalize on that 1-out miscue. Ramirez is hitting .348. That's low. Ramirez had a single, a bunt, a perfectly placed one at that in the 6th inning, and later scored what was the tying run on the 3-run double by Lennon Gomez. 1-0, stepping off is the pitcher Enya. Enya is the music artist. To call it strike, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Did you already buy the tickets for this movie?
8 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors for Rutgers-Newark. 7 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors for the Gothic Knights. There goes Dan Berardi. Pitches low. The throw to second base, not in time, hops away, and Karams rolls towards shortstop. So a stolen base by Dan Berardi. He represents the tying run, and he's now in scoring position. Be 2 balls and 1 strike.
Oh, he did? Okay, thank you. Because I couldn't see like his other hand behind this thing. I'm telling you, I can't, like, on the plays like, where they throw it down a second, I lose track of what the pitch was. Because it's too much at once.
Now Ramirez, the tying run at second. That's in the dirt. Marks is able to gobble that one up. And if Ramirez reaches Lennon Gomez, who's done a majority of the damage for the Gothic Knights in the last few innings, will step in. 1 of 3, obviously, big hits in this game because we have 2 2-run homers. That's popped in the air. Foul territory. It's going to be out of play. And if you just joined us, Rutgers-Newark scored 3 in the first. Nick Legato hit a 2-run homer, his 3rd home run of the season in the 2nd. When Newark went back up 5-2, Coutinho followed suit with a home run off the top of the fence and out in the 3rd. And then Lennon Gomez with a 3-run double that nearly left the park to deep center in the 6th. So we stand at 8-7. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Mike Ramirez from Old Bridge, New Jersey. That's hit in the air. Down the left field line. Boulineau against the line and reaching back towards the line in foul territory. He makes the catch. So that's now 2 away. It'll bring up Lennon Gomez.
Now batting the DH, number 24, Lennon Gomez.
Gomez vying for another Rookie of the Week award. He's got a pair of doubles today and 3 crucial RBIs in what is now a 1-run game. They're going to intentionally walk Lennon Gomez, and that's probably a pretty good decision.
Did he throw the first pitch? Alright.
So they're going to intentionally walk Gomez after he made them pay the last time up, and they'll take their chances with C.J. Pulsini, who has not been as effective. This is good strategic baseball here. So they put the biggest threat to their lead on base intentionally, and they'll take their chances with Pulsini, who's hitting .280 on the year, but he's 0 for 3 in this game. A pop out to short, a strikeout swinging, and a ground ball to shortstop.
Now batting the catcher, number 9, C.J. Pulsini.
And we're going to have a visit to the mound here by head coach Mark Rizzi. And there'll be a new pitcher. It'll be Dan Murphy, a 5'11 junior from South Amboy, New Jersey. 235-pound right-hander will come in and be up to him to retire NJCU with 2 outs here in the 7th. We'll be right back. You're watching Gothic Night Baseball. We are in the 7th inning, and runners on first and second, Gomez and Berardi. Gomez intentionally walked. Berardi reached on an error, then stole second. And we have a new pitcher, and it is number 44, Dan Murphy. The right-hander comes in, and he faces C.J. Pulsini. It'll be ball one. Murphy, this is his 8th appearance, all in relief. He's 2-1 with a 7.71 ERA, 11 and 2/3 innings. He's struck out 7. He's walked 7. He's allowed 16 hits in 11 and 2/3. It's called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tying run at second. It's 8-7 Rutgers-Newark. As the Gothic Knights, the road team at home in Game 2, due to both single games during the week, one home, one away, being rained out. Murphy deals. That's fouled off to our right. So he's ahead of Pulsini now, 1-2. Pulsini's helmet, really dirty. One and two. Big spot here for the senior from Hazlitt. Can Pulsini come through? And he does. Hit in the air to left center field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Rounding third is Berardi. He will score. C.J. Pulsini ties it with an RBI single. They walk Gomez to get to Pulsini, and he makes them pay.
1-2.
Yeah. That was good. Okay. Yeah.
That run by Berardi is unearned, as was the run that Rutgers-Newark scored in the last half inning.
Now batting the shortstop.
Gomez stops at second base. And that will bring up Nick Legato. He's got a 2-run homer today. He's walked. And Nick Legato has quietly become one of the most dangerous hitters in the lineup. And that is ball one. And Legato doesn't play every day. But when he does, and he's on, really capable of leading this team. That's fouled off the plate and goes back towards us. 1-1. I mean, I think if you told anybody that at this point of the season, Nick Legato would be the team leader in home runs, probably about 10 other guys in the lineup power-wise that people would have probably guessed first would be leading in that category. Lennon Gomez, Dan Berardi, probably the top two you would think of. But right now it is Legato. He's 5'11", 170, but he swings really a hot stick. Good bat speed is really what I meant to say. And that makes all the difference sometimes. You don't necessarily have to have the biggest frame in the world. You just got to have the speed on the bat. And he's done so 3 times. Placed it over the left field fence. He's ahead 2-1 here. That's outside. 3-1. That's popped in the air. Drifting back towards the infield. It's going to fall in. Marks tried to measure that one carefully as it very gradually pulled back while looking up into the sun towards the infield. Could not make the catch. So Legato gets life. So 3-2 here to Legato. That's hit in the air. Left field, carrying back, and reaching up and making, no, goes over the fence! Goes over the fence for a 3-run homer! Oh my! Josh Cote reached up and he thought he had it. Nick Legato goes yard again! His second home run of the game, his 4th of the season. Can you believe it? Nick Legato's 4th home run, and the Gothic Knights have now taken the lead. It's 11-8. Wow! And he's mobbed at home plate by everyone in green.
Wow. That guy's good.
It had just the distance, just clears the crossbar. Unreal. This is becoming a pretty good story. So Zach Buchholz will step in. Now it's a 1-1 count. And that inability there by Marks to catch the foul ball, while not an error, obviously part of the story. So a ball and 2 strikes. Cote did all he could. He was all the way up against the fence, just couldn't make the catch. In the dirt. We don't know if Nick Legato ever hit 4 home runs in a season in high school. But he's got 4 home runs now, about a third of the way through the schedule here in Jersey City. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Buchholz swings and misses, and he goes down on strikes, but not before the Gothic Knights score 4 unearned runs on 2 hits. The biggest one, a 3-run shot by Nick Legato, who I think will be on the field every day the rest of the season now. 1 error, nobody left on base. We head to the bottom of the 7th. 7th inning stretch in Jersey City, 11-8 Gothic Knights. Well, if you like the long ball, we've got that. If you like excitement, we've got that. And Rutgers-Newark trailing 11-8 has some work to do to try to now be the team playing catch-up. And they started off with ball. First pitch he sees is a base hit. That'll bring up Zucker, who struck out looking in the 5th. That's the first time he's been retired today. So Zucker, it'll be a 1-1 count here. Jose Ortiz back on the mound, now the pitcher of record. It's called strike. Of course, Ortiz was an everyday starter his first 2 years before a season-ending arm injury. Got a medical red shirt. Only pitched in a couple games last year. Ground ball. It's going to get through the middle of the infield. Back-to-back base hits for Rutgers-Newark. Will bring the tying run to the plate. So Marks, the catcher, will step in.
The catcher, number 13, Justin Marks.
And he represents the tying run here in the bottom of the 7th. Marks has had a good game, been on base 3 times, 2 singles, a hit by pitch. He has scored twice. And Ortiz steps off. Ortiz deals. Called strike. Called strike as well. And Marks is hit by the pitch. So Ortiz was ahead of him 0-2, but he hit him. And after back-to-back singles, Rutgers-Newark suddenly has the bases loaded.
The left fielder, number 15, Josh Cote.
So that'll bring up Cote, who nearly tracked down Legato's home run, but was off the end of his glove and over the fence as he was about to fall over the fence himself. Called strike here, but there's nobody out. Cote, he's got 4 RBIs and 2 extra base hits today. He's been intentionally walked as well. A 2-run triple in the first, a 2-run double in the second when Rutgers-Newark led 3-0 and then 5-2. But once again, Ortiz is ahead, 2 strikes. Swung on it, missed strike 3. Pulsini pumps his fist. That's out number 1. Game the Gothic Knights have to win if they want to stay alive early in the season in conference playoff contention. Big difference between 1-5 and 2-4 in the league. The first baseman, Claire, will bat for the first time today. He came in defensively for Halkias. And a short sample this year. He's been productive. 11 hits and 24, now 12 hits and, 11 hits and 25 at bats after a pinch hit appearance where he was retired in game number 1. And time is requested. Pulsini will go out and have a conversation with Jose Ortiz. Connor Clare, freshman, 6'2", 175 pounds, out of Rutherford, New Jersey, and Rutherford High School. Let's call it strike. Be 0-1. Another good pitch by Ortiz, battling back. And he's ahead 0-2. Ortiz deals. Oh, the Gothic Knights wanted that one. Hit in the air to right field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Scoring his ball. Zucker will have to stop at third as Coutinho got to it quickly and fired it back in. But regardless, it is an RBI single for Clare, and Rutgers-Newark gets a run back. They now trail 11-9. So that'll bring up the center fielder, Percante.
Now batting the center fielder, number 8, Anthony Perconti.
Left-handed hitter comes up and looks at ball 1. Percante doubled and later scored an unearned run in the 6th. He's got 2 hits in this game and a walk. 2 for 3 overall. Low, ball 2. It's 2-0. Called strike, fastball on the outside corner. Righty against lefty here. Low. And it's ball 3. 3-1 with the bases loaded. NJCU leading 11-9. Rutgers-Newark has out-hit the Gothic Knights 15-8. It doesn't matter. The Gothic Knights out-hit William Patterson in both games yesterday and still dropped both. The 3-1 ground ball off the mound and up the middle, and this will tie the game. Zucker scores. Here comes Marks. It's a 2-run single for Percante, and Rutgers-Newark rolls back. In a back-and-forth seesaw game, we're now even at 11-all. And there's still just one man out.
The right fielder, number 25, Adam Chikarico.
So back and forth and back we go. Now Rutgers-Newark has regained the momentum, and they have the go-ahead run with Claire at second base. Swung on and missed does Tricarico. What a game we've had today in game number 2 after Rutgers-Newark won the opener 11-3. Swung on and missed. And it's 0-2. Ortiz deals. That's high. There's a ball. It's 2-2. The 2-2 swung on and missed. And Tricarico is pissed. He just, wow, he just yelled out loud at himself. You don't see that too often. A player vocalizes his frustration that loudly, but swung on a missed strike 3. And Tricarico really wanted to come through there. An 11-11 game with Claire at second base. He sensed the moment. And a good pitch by Ortiz is able to strike him out. So 2 strikeouts by Ortiz, but Ortiz came into this inning as the pitcher record in the lead, looking to give the Gothic Knights some solid pitching to get through the rest of this game. And Rutgers-Newark has countered with 3 runs. C.J. Pulsini doesn't know where the ball is. And this time the backstop saves the Gothic Knights an advancement possibility. Perconte and Claire will stay where they are. It's now 2 balls to Boulino. Third baseman for Rutgers-Newark has a home run in the 3rd. A sac fly in the 6th. He's walked. And throw back to second. And just getting hand back in is Claire. So it'll be 2 balls and no strikes here. And it's now 3-0. And again, he's in safely. And that's ball 4. So, Boudleaux walks on 4 pitches. And with 2 outs, bases are full. And Nick Cesare is going to come out, the Gothic Knight pitching coach, and have a chat with Jose Ortiz. So there's a conversation here between the umpires. Powers is due up for Rutgers-Newark with 2 outs and the bases loaded in an 11-11 game. So, Boudleaux, he's at first. Percante, he's at second. Claire, he's at third. And Powers comes up representing the go-ahead run. Let me rephrase that. With the go-ahead run standing 90 feet away. He's got the power to drive in the go-ahead run. Fans all around the park today, well over 250 on hand. Some are roaming around in the outfield by the fence, in center and right field. The 0-1 pitch coming by Jose Ortiz. That's high. And it's a ball and a strike. That's hit in the air to deep. Left center on the run. Ramirez. Does he make the catch? He does. And Mike Ramirez getting the start in center field for the first time maybe in his entire career. We'd have to go back and take a look at his sophomore and freshman campaigns. But defensively, he just made the biggest play of his collegiate career, diving in left center to make the catch and strand the bases loaded. In the 7th inning for Rutgers-Newark, 3 runs on 4 hits. They strand 3. Mike Ramirez comes through. We're not at 11. We go to the 8th. So Jeff Reineke steps in an 11-11 game against his former team. He leads off the 8th inning. And the first pitch here by Murphy, that's called strike. Got a little chillier here on what was a day in the 60s. Slow ground ball over to ball at second. Reineke's retired. So Nick Racino will come up. Racino
The left fielder, number 8, Nick Racino.
struck out swinging with the bases loaded in the 6th. The Gothic Knights have left 5 in this game. Rutgers-Newark has stranded 12. And that's a called strike to Nick Racino. One ball, one strike. That's high. Oh, well, they called a strike there. Nick Racino totally disagrees with that one. I think Racino and I shared the same vantage point on that pitch. Same opinion, I should say. 1-2. Way outside by Murphy. 11 runs, 16 hits, 2 errors for Rutgers-Newark. 11 runs, 8 hits, 3 hits for the Gothic Knights. NJCU, of their 8 hits, 5 extra bases, including 3 home runs. Popped in the air center field on the run and making the catch as he gets underneath it. It's the center fielder, Bricanti. That's out number 2. And I'll bring up Joe Catino. Catino's got one of those 3 home runs. Nick Legato has 2 others. Lennon Gomez with 2 doubles. It's been a crazy, crazy game. That's in the dirt. A ball and no strikes. Catino has scored twice, a 2-run homer, a walk. 1 for 3. That's high. So 2-0 in an 11-11 game. Ira Thor with you live at the Thomas M. Garrity Athletic Complex in Jersey City. NJCU Rutgers-Newark Game 2. That's high. The Raiders are 14-5, 3-2 in the league after they won the opener 11-3. The Gothic Knights are 6-9 and 1-4 in the conference after winning the first game of the league schedule against Kane last Saturday. The 3-0. That's a called strike. Makes it a 3-1 pitch coming up here by Murphy. Right-hander deals. Swung on and missed a changeup there as Catino was way out in front of that one. And the count is full with 2 outs here in the 8th. Gothic Knights, the road team at home. 3-2. That's hit in the air. Left center. Bricanti on the run. He'll make the catch in left center, and the Gothic Knights go 1-2-3 here in the 8th. Bottom of the 8th inning here in Jersey City. Some defensive changes for the Gothic Knights. Nick Legato, the hero offensively with 2 home runs in this game, including a go-ahead 3-run shot, will move from shortstop to the mound. He will make his first pitching appearance of the year. We don't even list him on the roster as a pitcher, but he can pitch. He's a middle infielder by trade, but he's got the ability to not only hit some surprisingly long home runs, but pitch as well. Zach Buchholz moves from third to short to take his spot, and Lennon Gomez, who was the DH, will play third base for the first time this year. And the first pitch by Legato is a called strike. Legato did make 1 appearance last year. He threw 1 inning, allowed 1 hit, faced 3 batters, had a 0.00 ERA. So he was pretty darn effective last year in his lone appearance as a pitcher. And a 2-strike count here. That's fouled into the back cage here and remains 0-2. Gothic Knights softball team played 2 today. Gothic Knight baseball team concluding their 2 games. In a game that's been a seesaw battle from the first pitch. Legato, the 0-2, that's hit in the air, down the right field line. Coutinho on the run, and it's going to fall in. Going to fall in for a bloop single down the right field line. The 17th hit of the game for Rutgers-Newark. So a bloop single that brings up to shortstop Zucker. He's had a nice day. Been on base 4 times, 3 for 4, 3 singles, a walk. He scored 3 runs. That's what you want out of your leadoff hitter. They're showing bunt. Trying to sacrifice the go-ahead run into scoring position with nobody out here. Baseball will also play 2 more tomorrow as they conclude the 3rd of 3 doubleheaders in 3 days. Those are all 7-inning games. So it'll be 1-1 here. Again, Zucker trying to sacrifice. Pulsini takes it, throws to first in time for the sacrifice. But it's effective because ball goes to second, representing the go-ahead run. So well executed there by Zucker. That'll bring up the catcher, Marks, who's been hit by 2 pitches today. He has scored 3 times. He's 2 for 3. So go ahead run stands at second base. Now 1 away. The catcher Marks at the plate. And that's lined to right field. Coutinho going to have to play it on a hop. Rounding third and coming home is ball. Rutgers-Newark has taken a 12-11 lead. So single to right field. And Rutgers-Newark, they've led 3-0. They've led 5-2 and 7-4 before NJCU countered. But now Rutgers-Newark back in front 12-11. And as the first earned run that Legato's given up as a collegiate pitcher in limited action. 18th hit by the Raiders. 1 ball and 1 strike. Curve ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So 2 away. And it'll be Claire coming up, the first baseman. And an RBI single in the 7th.
Batting the first baseman, number 5, Connor Clare.
That's outside. Swung on and missed. Throw back to first, and diving in safely is Marks. And that's off the plate. So he walks on 4 pitches. Marks goes to second. That'll bring up Percante.
The center fielder, number 8, Anthony Perconti.
And Percante, who steps in, he had a 2-run single in the 7th that tied the game at 11 all. First pitch is a ball. This is outside as well. Throw back to second. Oh, and it hits the runner in the back of the leg. An error on Pulsini, and 2 runners are in scoring position. Here comes a throw to the plate, and that's going to be wide. It's a 2-base error, and then another error allowing the runner to advance to third. You've got to be kidding me. You can't make this up. So 2 errors on 1 play, and that may ultimately be the nail in the coffin today. Ground ball to short. Buchholz, long throw, not in time. And Claire scores as well, and it's 14-11.
The right fielder, number 25, Adam Chikaric.
Well, had the errors not happened, runners would now be at second and third. But instead, both have scored. There goes the runner. That throw is wide of the bag as well. Percante steals second. One ball and one strike to Tricarico. Now a 2-2 count as he swings through that one. Swung on a miss, and the inning comes to a close, but not before Rutgers-Newark scores 3 runs on 3 hits. Only one of those 3 was earned. 2 errors, 1 left on, and now the Gothic Knights, after being up 3, find themselves down 3. It's 14-11. We head to the 9th. In a seesaw battle, this is the last chance for the Gothic Knights, and they'll have to do so against a new pitcher. That's a check swing foul by Dan Berardi as he faces number 26, Luis Rojas, a 6'6" junior right-hander out of Union, New Jersey, and Union Catholic High School. Berardi, Ramirez, and Gomez, 3 dangerous hitters. The Gothic Knights down by 3. And much of that now self-inflicted. They've committed 5 errors in this game. Giving up 4 unearned runs in this game. That's low. It's 2-1.
Oh, the kid that's learned to second sign up for himself.
Now 3 balls and 1 strike to Berardi. Got a piece of that one. Be 3-2. Rojas, on the year, has been the top pitcher overall for the Raiders. This will be his 7th appearance. He's 2-0 with a 0.79 ERA, and obviously at 6'6", an overpowering figure. The strikeout totals versus the inning totals will boggle your mind. That's a ground ball up the middle. Double pump here. And in time as Zucker's able to throw out Berardi. One away to bring up Mike Ramirez, the center fielder. Rojas, 11 and a third innings, 19 strikeouts. I'll repeat that. 11 and 1/3 innings, 19 strikeouts. He's walked 5. He's going for his 4th save of the year. That is a foul ball down the left field line by Ramirez. Ramirez, in the 7th inning, temporarily saved the game when he made a layout catch in left center, take an extra base hit away with the bases loaded from Rutgers-Newark. But NJCU with back-to-back errors on the same play as Rojas throws that in the dirt. Goes from what would have been a 1-run deficit entering the 9th to being down 14-11, which is where we stand right now. On a day where NJCU has 3 home runs and 5 total extra base hits, 5 errors may do them in. That's low. A 2-1 to Ramirez. That's low as well. Now it's past 6 o'clock. We've been out here for going on 7 hours. That is a called strike, and for the second count in a row, Rojas, a full count against the Gothic Knights, trying to give Rutgers-Newark their 4th win of the year in the league, all coming this weekend. That's fouled away. It'll land on dry ground and not in the bay. We'll do it again. It's 3-2. Yesterday on the road, Rutgers-Newark swept Rutgers-Camden. And looking to win 2 on the road again. Playing 4 games in 2 days. The Gothic Knights have 2 more tomorrow. Non-conference contest against Staten Island. That's chopped foul, so Ramirez will stay alive. Three balls and 2 strikes. Rojas, the 6'6" righty, deals. And that's again fouled down the line. This time the first base line by Mike Ramirez, who continues to battle. 3rd straight foul ball. And this will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Gothic Knights softball dropped a pair of games on the road today against the Ramapo Roadrunners. And now they're below 500 for the first time this year at 7-9. That is fouled down the line. Giving chase is the 3rd baseman. Boulino is out of play, however. And that will result in the 10th pitch of the at-bat. And Rutgers-Newark will come over with a few baseballs as you hit that many foul balls, you're going to lose some. Ramirez continues to stay alive against Rojas. Rojas deals, and that's hit in the air. Center field, however, not too difficult there, as Percante takes 4 steps to his right and makes the catch for the 2nd out. It'll be Gomez, the last chance for the Gothic Knights. He's got 2 doubles in this game, including a 3-run bases clearing shot in the 6th that, at the time, tied the game. Gothic Knights had this one in their grasp and they let it slip away on 2 plays. And the first pitch to Gomez is a called strike. Curveball is high. Pitcher record right now is Murphy for Rutgers-Newark. He had given up 2 unearned runs in an inning, a third of work, but he is the pitcher of record. And Rojas trying to nail down the save. 2 balls and a strike. And he swings through that one. And NJCU now down to their final strike here in the top of the 9th as they are the road team on their home field in game number 2. 2-2, Rojas deals. And that's lined through the left side. That's a base hit for Lennon Gomez. As the 9th hit for the Gothic Knights, Rutgers-Newark has 19. So NJCU stays alive. It'll be C.J. Pulsini,
The catcher, number 9, C.J. Pulsini.
who had a big RBI single in the 7th. He steps in. That's a called strike. And in an evil twist of fate, Nick Legato, who has 5 RBIs and 2 home runs in this game, right now stands to be the losing pitcher, throwing the 9th inning, giving up a pair of unearned runs after back-to-back throwing errors. Cruel twist of fate. And that is low. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one. Rojas against Pulsini. That's low. That's a called strike, and again, the Gothic Knights down to their final strike. Swung on and missed. Pulsini strikes out swinging, and the ball game is over. Rojas comes in, he nails down the save, and Rutgers-Newark completes the sweep of the Gothic Knights, winning Game 2 by a score of 14-11. 14 runs, 19 hits, 2 errors for Rutgers-Newark. 11 runs, 9 hits, and 5 costly errors for the Gothic Knights as they fall today in Game 2, 14-11. In the 9th inning for the Gothic Knights, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 left on base. Your final score in Game 2 was Rutgers-Newark 14 runs, 19 hits, and 2 errors. NJCU 11 runs, 9 hits, and 5 errors. With the 2 wins today, Rutgers-Newark improves to 15-5, 4-2 in the NJAC. Gothic Knight baseball back in action tomorrow, their 3rd doubleheader in 3 days. They'll be against the College of Staten Island on the road tomorrow in the afternoon and then play a night game in Game 2 in Staten Island. The next home game is on Tuesday when NJCU hosts FDU Florham here in Jersey City. We thank you for your attendance today, and please enjoy the rest of your Sunday. That's it as we announce it to the crowd here in Jersey City. Taking a look at the final stat line today for the Gothic Knights. It was Mike Ramirez. It was Nick Legato, 5 RBIs, 2 for 3, 2 home runs, and 2 runs scored. But he ends up being, in a cruel twist of fate, the losing pitcher. Lennon Gomez, 3 for 4, 3 RBIs, 2 doubles, 2 runs scored. Joe Coutinho, a 2-run home run. He had 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. But the Gothic Knights, with several costly throwing errors, including 2 in the bottom of the 8th, and Rutgers-Newark rallies from an 11-8 deficit to defeat NJCU 14-11. That's the final score today here in Jersey City, as NJCU falls to Rutgers-Newark 14-11 in game number 2. They are swept today 11-3 and 14-11. And with the 2 losses today, the Gothic Knights fall to 6-10 on the year, and now in trouble in the league at 1-5 overall. On behalf of everyone at NJCU Athletics, we thank you for watching today's doubleheader of Gothic Knight Baseball here on Gothic Vision. The next broadcast will be on Tuesday at 3:30 when NJCU takes on FDU Florham, the Gothic Knights, and the Devils in a non-conference game here in Jersey City. Until we talk to you then, be well, everybody.